Welcome into Swing and a Miss, a baseball podcast.
We know a lot about the little.
And our opinions are backed up by cherry-picked stats.
Just like a good hitter in baseball, we're just trying to hit 300.
Line?
Welcome in. Welcome to episode 5 of Swing and a Miss. We should just apologize right off the bat. We're coming off of a beer league softball game where we got absolutely demolished, and now we're just trying to make ourselves feel better. So, first of all, thank you so much for everyone who's listened to the podcast. We've achieved over 300 downloads, which may not sound like a lot, but for us, for 5 guys that just decided to do this on a whim in someone's basement, it's a big deal for us. So thank you to everyone who's listened. Thank you for everyone who's submitted questions. We're going to get to a few of those today. So let's go ahead and kick it off. How's everybody doing? You guys enjoying baseball?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, now that the Twins are actually winning every once in a while, it's a lot better.
A little better for you and Rodrigo, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't know if it's going to last the whole year, but right now it is fun looking down from the mountaintop as a Tigers fan.
I don't know how that feels. Nels, you're close enough.
I am, sort of, but I think their Giants are in third right now, even though they have like the third best record in the league. So,
Pretty close.
It's better than being the Rockies.
That's true.
Statistical Tigers.
That is very true.
They're not boring to watch, and that's really all I wanted out of the season.
I'm happy that Seattle's offense actually turned up this season, and I'm very happy to see Jorge Polanco, former Twin, really contributing to that team and making stuff happen. He's been really exciting since he came off the IL.
That's been an interesting division. I know you were high on the Mariners when we did our picks for the AL, and I don't think I was that high on him, but as a show, I think we put him at second. I think we ended up with the Rangers in that division as first, but
yeah,
it's been an interesting first 7 weeks of the season. So first thing we're going to do, let's do a quick league check-in. I know we did this before where we did kind of the real good, fake good, panic button. We're not really going to do that every time we meet, but let's talk a little bit about who's been good in your opinion, who's been not great, who needs to change something, and let's just start there.
I've got one I'd love to start with. This was going to be one where I was thinking a week and a half ago I'd come in firing hot with a hot take, and all they've done since then is just continue to win and rise up the standing, and that's the artists formerly known as the Oakland Athletics. They might be a playoff team. They're looking real good. They're young guys. They're playing good. They're pitching well. They're hitting well. They're winning ball games, and Seattle's obviously the top of that division. They're playing real well also. But, the A's look legit from a team that we thought was maybe going to phone it in, not having a ballpark, going to Sacramento. The ownership is a joke over there. And those players haven't let that bother them. And they're playing exciting ball right now.
I'm going to be really curious, both with them and the Rays, what happens when we get to the dog days of summer. Because both of those teams are going to be playing either immense heat or on the road a ton. And so, it'll be curious to see if they wear down. But being a young team, maybe they've just got a little bit more endurance than some grizzled old vets.
Yeah, and that's what I learned with the Tigers last year, too, down the stretch when, they made their big run. It was just a bunch of young guys that don't know any better, that they're not supposed to be doing this.
Maybe the A's can take the Miami Dolphins strategy of taking the shady dugout. Maybe that'll help them. It's August in Sacramento.
Quite honestly, I expected the A's to fold. I expected them to just fold and pack it in and not be competitive. And that's on me. That was just my prediction. But I've been really impressed with how they've played. They've done, like Josh said, they've really been pitching well. They've been hitting well. It's been timely hitting. It's not just hitting for power and stats that don't do anything for you. It's hitting that's winning them games. And to me, that's really impressive. So I agree with Josh. A week and a half ago, I probably would have said something different, but today they're a good team. They're a really good team.
Yeah, they took my hot take and made it not hot. So I like it.
It's cold. It's cold.
Can we talk about the AL East?
Please.
The AL East might just be very mid.
The AL East.
The Yankees are atop that division. What Judge is doing is absolutely incredible. He's still, first week of May, still has got a batting average above 400, which is unfathomable to do that with that level of power. But every other team within that division is just scuffling along. And even the Yankees, I don't trust a lick of their starting pitching once you get past Max Fried. Like, they have got a lot to work out within that starting rotation to have them be not just a competitor when it comes to the playoffs, but even just have the endurance through the rest of the season.
And Devin Williams has been terrible.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that we all agreed upon when we did our American League picks was we weren't sure they fixed their defensive issues. And I think it's starting to show more so now, even though they're in first place, but they're not running away with it. The Red Sox are right there. What are they, 2 games back?
Just
Two.
one.
Yeah. And I know the Red Sox have their issues, and Tristan Casas, however you say it, just blew out his knee and is probably out for a significant amount of time. And I agree with Tyler. The rest is just kind of middling. They're hanging around. They're close, but they're not really making up any ground. And the Yankees really aren't separating themselves. So I agree. The AL East to me is pretty mid right now.
I did not expect the Orioles to just crater like they have. I knew that the pitching would not be their strength, but oh boy.
Can we talk
I'm
about...
sure they're ranked dead last in pitching right now.
Well, they're definitely dead last in batting average with runners in scoring position. And I know the rest of you also saw this today. How many times did the Orioles leave runners on second and third with less than 2 outs against the Twins today? 4?
It was a lot. I mean, I really think that we're looking at another manager firing, which is sad because
They're not
rare.
they're not untalented.
Not untalented, and rarely is a situation like this the manager's fault. I feel like if they would have had some starting pitching to lean on, then the hitters don't have to press as much. They get to play a little bit more within themselves, not try to do too much, and they can be, the players that they've been for the past 2 or 3 years and be a potent offense. But I think they're putting too much on their shoulders, thinking that they have to do it all because they know the pitching is going to give them 5, 6, 7 runs a game.
What's Charlie Morton's ERA right now? About 13?
It's
A lot.
It starts with a 1, and there's not a period after.
There's a crooked number after that 1. Well, I agree. The Orioles to me are surprising. I think as a show we had them at 3rd. I think that sounds right. And then 3rd or 4th, but we didn't expect them to be this bad. And their hitting has been really shaky. Their pitching has just been atrocious. And this is a team that won over 100 games 2 years ago, right? I mean, I'm not crazy, right? They won over 100 games 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
They were over.
This is a good team with a lot of really homegrown talent. They brought a ton of guys through their system, and they are just crap right now. And that's the best way to describe it. They're just crap.
I want to give a shout out to 2 teams that we panicked on last time that have turned it around a little bit in both the Braves and the Twins. They've both been playing much better baseball, much more watchable baseball.
True.
The Twins are 7 back, but still way better than they have been before. I think they've won 8, 9 in a row at Target Field.
They've been 5 in a row total right now.
Yeah.
Right?
They have some tough matchups coming up, so we'll see how they do there.
And 7 back in arguably the best division in baseball, maybe the second best behind the NL West.
And all 5 of us will at least be at 1, if not 2 or 3, games this weekend at Target Field to watch the Twins.
The Twins and the Giants.
That's who they're
one
playing.
of their big tests.
Yes, they're going to have to test it. And the frustrating thing is you see over the past 2 weeks the Twins sort of get things back to level, and you look at it and you say like, okay, maybe they're making up some games here, but unfortunately the Tigers have not stopped winning, the Guardians have not stopped winning, the Royals have also turned it on and started going strong. So really all they've been doing is treading water, even though they've started to win.
Yeah, as of right now, Tigers won 4 in a row, Cleveland 2 in a row, Kansas City 6 in a row, Twins 5 in a row. So they have not been able to.
And the White Sox 4 in a row.
And the White Sox are also in that division.
And also, real quick, I know we're 9 minutes in and you haven't, heard from him yet. Fan favorite Rodrigo's back in the house today.
Yes, I am back in the house, and I haven't said anything because there's not much to say other than what has been said here. However, I think this is also a friendly reminder that a good start of the season is not going to guarantee a playoff spot. However, it will make your way harder if you have a bad start. And this is what the Twins are suffering from. They had a really weak start of the season, and now they're paying the price for it, because even though they have been doing what they're supposed to now, it's already too late because everyone else is doing the job. So I think the Twins are going to have a bigger challenge to make it to postseason. However, I still believe that everything can change except for the Rockies, of course.
That's what I was over here ready to say. I'm like, so you're telling me it's too early to write the Rockies off?
I think it is not too early to write the.
You can't
Rockies
win
off.
the pennant in May,
But
but
you
you can lose it, and the Rockies have lost it.
They lost
somebody-
it in the preseason.
Yeah, they lost it in spring training.
As somebody who just watched my team play them 3 times in 2 days, yikes. That defense, it's like a rec league softball defense. They're just tossing
Great.
the ball away. Nobody can do anything.
Great.
If you have a problem with Ben's fielding, just let him know, though.
Hey, Ben, I'm pretty sure you'd be an upgrade in the defense.
Hey, I'll
for
take
the
it.
Rockies are currently on track for 27 wins.
Yeah, this Rockies team
Wolf.
legitimately is worse than last year's White Sox team that we thought was the worst team that we have seen in our lives.
We didn't think that.
It
It
was.
was.
They're
They
it is
were.
May 8th as of right now. They are 19 games out of first
Oh
place.
my
It's going to be
goodness.
hard to come back from that
Hey,
one.
but only
yeah.
15 and a half out of a wild card.
That's
So-
true. You guys, like every other team could get dysentery and stop playing baseball, and the Rockies could catch them just by forfeits.
The
And
only thing
they
they'd
got
be catching is the dysentery.
true story. They've got it right now. Great uniforms, though. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Great uniforms. I love those City Connects. I really like those.
And then one more bad team that I want to give a quick shout to before I turn over to somebody else, because I've been talking a lot here.
It's all right.
We mentioned sort of another manager firing, because there was the first manager firing today in the Pittsburgh Pirates, and just wanted to give a quick shout to former Tigers fan favorite legend, Mr. Don Kelly, who is taking over as the manager of the Pirates, at least for the rest of the year, and hopefully, they get on a good little stretch here, and he shows some stuff, and we could see manager Don Kelly going into the future.
I have a question for the table. Do we, as a podcast, believe in firing a manager is fixing the problems?
Not always, but you can't fire the players.
I think that there is some element. If you've got a manager who has a tenure of 6, 7, 8 years, I think that their message can just get a little too worn, and having someone else's voice at the table, putting just different messaging into the players' ear might do something. But I really think it's working around the margins.
Mhm.
More than anything, the players have got to play, and the front office needs to have assembled a team that's going to win in the offseason.
The thing I've always heard is a manager's good for 60 wins and 60 losses. It's what do you do with those other 42 games? And that's what separates good managers from bad managers.
Unless you're AJ Hinch, who is just a wizard with how he uses his pitching and stuff. Like
They're
there's-
still going
there's
to
a
lose.
few-
They're still going to lose at least 60
Yeah,
games.
But there's a few managers that really make a difference, but for the most part, especially on these bad teams, it's not the manager, but the manager takes responsibility for the team. And sometimes you just need a shakeup. You can tell everybody's flat. They're not coming out with any sort of motivation or excitement. And sometimes a change needs to be made, and it's not always so easy to do it on the player side.
Yeah.
Because there's usually not a whole lot of big guys that you can just sign in May.
Yep.
And making trades is not easy.
Unless you're
So,
the Braves and you bring in Eddie Rosario for the 48th time.
I said exciting.
Because my issue
Or
with this
Jesse
topic
Chavez.
is that I definitely believe that the managers are responsible for the team, but they are not the guilty ones when the team is not,
You're not
working
wrong.
out. So
It's a scapegoat, but it's just the easiest thing to change when something needs to be different.
and you, like I said, you can't fire the players.
And the general manager is not going to fire themselves for putting together a poor
Yeah.
team.
I get it.
also,
I
you
get
can
it.
Speaking
fire the
of-
players, that's called getting DFA'd.
Well, true, but they're not. These teams that we're talking about are not DFAing their entire team.
No.
And interestingly enough, you bring up a good point, Rodrigo, because one thing that I saw that was Monday of this week, maybe Tuesday of this week, and we talked about this team the last podcast as being really disappointing so far. The Rangers fired someone that I didn't know was in a position in a baseball dugout. The offensive coordinator. Didn't know that was a thing in baseball. Had no clue. So they fired him, but they kept the hitting coach. They kept the assistant hitting coach. They kept the offensive strategist. So I'm not quite sure. This guy feels like a scapegoat to me, but their offense is garbage
He was
right
calling
now.
too many trick plays.
He was. He called the flea flicker at third base.
Yeah, he was doing tight end downfield passes.
Only if I'm correct here, the Pirates and the Rockies have scored fewer runs
Than the Rangers.
Yeah.
Which
Sounds about right.
Which is horrendous
Yes.
in itself, but especially given who they have on that roster, the
Absolutely.
offensive talent they have, there is no reason for them to be at the bottom.
No reason. Anybody got some good teams they want to talk about? We talked about a lot of crap.
I do want to talk about some good teams, but just some weaknesses, which is starting rotations. And I'm kind of looking forward to, it's really early, but trade talks, because I'm going to be curious to see what teams like the Yankees, the Cubs, the Mets, and the Padres all do to shore up their rotation. Now, one thing that I'll say is the Mets have actually had one of statistically the best rotations to start the season. But when I look at the names, once you get behind Senga, I don't really know that those guys are going to be, top tier playoff caliber starters that you'd want to carry you through a postseason run. So I'm going to be curious to see like what those teams do to get better at starting pitching and who's going to be able to sell, because obviously like there's, Sandy Alcantara, who's the big prize, but I think that there's going to be a huge bidding war for top end pitching talent when we get to the trade deadline.
Yeah, and the thing about baseball that's so beautiful is it's 162 games. It's a battle of attrition, and you can get a lot of these pitchers who you're looking at that roster and outside of their ace, you're like they're pitching really well, but is, can they do it for 30 starts? Can they A, stay healthy, and can they B, keep up what they do through the first 5, 6, 7 starts and do that for 25, 30 starts? That long battle war of attrition makes that very interesting too.
And I'm starting to wonder about that. About the Cubs, because we've started to see the Cubs come back to earth a little bit, and pitching has been a piece of that, but hitting has also been a piece of that. We've seen obviously Pete Crow Armstrong, Nico Horner, Ian Happ, like there's been incredible hitting, but the pitching has started to come back a little bit to earth. And I wonder if that's going to continue. I still expect them to be either 1 or 2 in the division. I don't think that's going to change. But how does that fare at the trade deadline? Do you add? Do you maintain?
I mean, today they called up their top prospect for pitching, Cade Horton. So, maybe that's going to be, rookie lightning in a bottle. That's just going to provide them the fuel that they need until Naga gets healthy again. And, but beyond that, yeah, like, Here's the rotation right now. You got Matthew Boyd, Colin Ray, Ben Brown, Jameson Tyone, and then Cade Horton. So there's not a lot of people there that you think
Those aren't huge names.
Well, not just names, but also you've got a history with many of those players where you know what they are, and you can't expect them to all of a sudden turn into Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, and as a Tigers fan, watching Matt Boyd for many years as the ace of our staff in those days, he can put together some really good first halves. He's got great swing and miss stuff, but his second halves historically in his career have kind of fallen apart a bit.
One team that I think it's being unnoticed is Cleveland, because they are second, they are behind.
We're not talking about them because Josh doesn't want to talk about them, but you go right
But
ahead.
we have to talk about them.
I
and
agree.
I don't care about what Josh wants. Not in this podcast, not ever. However, I mean, Cleveland has impressive numbers. They are second just because Tigers are better. However, they have numbers to be winning over the Yankees. They have better record than the Yankees. They have better record than some first places. And I think that is impressive. And that also speaks of how competitive this division is, at least at the top level, because, of course, we have the Twins and the White Sox that are recovering, right?
They're 7 games over 500, and they have a minus 14 run differential on the year. They're
small
fake.
small ball, baby.
They're fake. It's going to come back down.
Every year you say they're fake.
Well, also, like, the Guardians have been largely basing their success on pitching, and their pitching has actually been very poor this year.
And they still don't have Bieber back.
And they are still second.
I don't think that that's long lasting.
Okay.
I agree.
I will give my homer shout out to the Giants, who are
You should.
just still rolling. They just came out of Wrigley, took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. They're coming to town to face the Twins, so excited to see them in person for the second time this year.
Oh, we forgot to mention happy birthday, Nels.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Nels.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Yes. Gracias.
And that's why we're going this weekend
That
to
is
watch
why we're
your
going.
team play the Twins.
Yes, to watch my team sweep the Twins. That is correct. They've been playing just good ball. The starting rotation is still finding their legs a little bit. Poor Verlander can't get a win to save his life. I think the bullpen's
Neither can Chris Sale.
no. Robbie Ray is stealing all their wins. I think he's like 6-0, and they haven't lost a Robbie Ray start.
Yep.
He might be back, and that would be
He
huge.
might be.
Do you want to see Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, and Verlander in a short playoff series?
No,
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
So if they can maintain and get in there, I think they can make some noise.
Well, I think that's something that we talked about before. I think the Giants, I said at the beginning of the podcast, if they can put it all together, they're a scary team. And I think we're seeing the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, they need maybe, if we're talking trade deadline stuff, they could use second baseman, first baseman help. But beyond that, they have tons of arms in AAA that can come up and help out. So I think they're pretty short up.
Good deal. Well, thanks everybody for the league check-in. Hope everyone enjoyed that. I know we're not going to talk a ton of inside baseball every episode, so want to move on to the fun stuff. Let's move into some listener questions. We did get one in the email. Please email us swingandamisspod@gmail.com if you have a question or a thought or something you want us to discuss. This one I found very interesting. So in baseball, managers wear the uniforms of the players, right? You don't see that in football, basketball, hockey, soccer, any other sport. This listener asked if we think that it looks silly. And I'm curious to get everyone's take because I have a thought, but I want to get everyone's thought. I've not said this to anybody before. I've not given you a heads up, so I want to get your live reaction.
I'm going to answer with just one phrase. The generals have uniforms.
That's a fair point.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Tyler?
I think that the answer is it can look very silly. Like if you've got Tony La Russa at 80 some years old wearing the full uni, doing the slow walk out to the mound to relieve a pitcher, that doesn't look great. Now, if you got someone like Gabe Kaplan, who just can fill out a uni like no one's business with like a strong jawline, like, hey,
Wear what you want.
It blends right in. But the funny thing is I feel like a lot of the younger managers really disliked wearing the uniform and do everything that they can to do a pullover or something else to cover it up.
See, and that's interesting because that's what this listener said. They would feel more comfortable. They'd like it more if they wore a hoodie or a pullover or something, just not the jersey with their name on it.
What I need in my life, though, is more Jim Leland full decked out in uniform, ripping cigs in the dugout.
Smoking heaters in the dugout.
It just, there's nothing quite like it. With, you've got a 75-year-old man just ripping heaters in the dugout, pissed off at all times. But like
alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He still works with the Titans in the
He's
front
gonna
office.
live like 100.
I didn't mean to kill Jim Leland prematurely.
Yeah.
No. He's got so much formaldehyde in his body.
Yeah.
Like, he's fine.
And this is something that I don't know at all, so I may get fact checked out the door on this. But I feel like the whole like wearing a jersey thing probably dates back to when it was very common to have player managers. So you had guys that would play in the field, but then they were also managers.
Very Pete Rose era.
Yeah, even well before that.
Well, he was a player manager, wasn't he?
Yes,
yeah, he was.
Pete Rose was a player manager.
Yeah, but like even well before that, like I feel like it goes back to those days where it's
fact
like,
check me. I
where
guess.
it's like, yeah, you're the manager, but also your ass needs to get out in left field.
Yeah,
honestly, surprised we don't have more player managers with how cheap some owners are.
That's a
Save
good
a
point.
salary,
Save a salary.
It's weird if you think about it, like compared to the other sports, yes. But if you saw like Bruce Bochy in a suit or something in the dugout, like that would be Like a suit and tie, or
This isn't 1912. We don't need suits in
Well,
baseball.
I think he's saying like with hockey, with basketball, like you'll see coaches
Well,
in suits.
Right.
even in basketball now, we got a basketball game on behind us now. Sorry, we're not listening or watching baseball behind the curtain. They're wearing mostly pullovers with athletic pants at this point and sneakers.
That is something I dislike, honestly, because I understand that comfort is important, but also you need to give the importance that the sport requires. Meaning, this is a professional team, and you need to look professional. And there's no way a guy in sweatpants is gonna look professional ever. Doesn't matter if it's a sports team, because it's a professional sports team and he's the head. He's the image. He's the one that needs to inspire the players. So my question would be, are we exchanging the uniform for what?
I don't know.
Shorts and a t-shirt.
Tank tops and flips.
And he's
Yeah, I look around the table and all of us are in our baseball pants. I'm like, well, I guess this is very professional over here.
Yeah, because if you wear shorts and a polo, he's gonna look like the field guy or the guy that picks up the balls. He needs to be a team manager. He needs to look like a team manager. He needs to be perceived as a team manager.
I respect that position quite a bit because I came into this question really not having an opinion. So I was curious to hear you guys.
so just jumping briefly to another sport, former 49ers head coach Mike Nolan famously wore a suit and tie on the sidelines, and it propelled the Niners to absolutely nothing. They were quite awful during his entire run. So
Tom Landry was famous because he was wearing the coats and the hat.
he was also a Hall of Fame coach. So
I don't think he was famous because of the suit, but the suit makes him memorable.
I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like it's just too buttoned up. It's an athletic event.
Do you not button up a baseball jersey?
No, not literally buttoned
Bazinga.
up.
Bazinga.
I want to see cummerbunds. Otherwise, it's not happening.
Yeah, we want black tie optional manager.
Yeah, I need my manager to be ready to go to a wedding as soon as the game is over.
It is.
Well, just-
I find it funny that me being the youngest, I'm the one who's rooting for more formality.
Like I said, I don't have a position. I don't know that I feel one way or the other. I have grown up watching a ton of baseball where the manager wears a uniform. To me, it's not weird. But if you said, hey, tomorrow all managers are going to wear a hoodie or a pullover, I wouldn't think that's weird
But
either.
they've done that too. Gabe Kapler did that. when he
Well,
was-
and there's tons. Terry Francona never wears a jersey. He wears a pullover. So it's not weird when they do, but if they mandated managers no longer wear jerseys, I wouldn't find that weird.
Yeah.
Personally.
I have the idea that if they're gonna quit the uniform, they should be looking for more formality.
Okay. There's no wrong answer here.
No, that is my
As
position.
long as my teams win games, I don't care if
Wear-
they show up naked.
wear a
Just
chicken suit.
Win me some games.
Well, if they
baby.
showed up naked, they couldn't broadcast it, so you should care about that.
Well, they couldn't broadcast the dugout.
it would hurt the slide.
Why is my manager sliding?
Player manager.
Player
Manager. Okay, fair enough. We did get another submission
Ooh.
from a listener. And this one, I don't know if you guys saw. So a couple weeks ago, Braves sideline announcer, reporter, whatever you want to call him, Wiley Ballard, was up in the skybox in Arizona when they're playing the Diamondbacks. And the booth was telling him, hey, go get a girl's number while you're doing the broadcast. And I now that I see the faces around the table, I feel like we did talk about this a little bit. Maybe we didn't. That's fine. Some of you saw it, some of you didn't. And he was on camera talking to two women and asked them for their number on camera. One obliged and the other declined. They cut away from him. They cut back on him when he didn't have his mic live, and he's talking to the two girls. And I'm curious because this listener said this was not professional. And I'm curious what you guys think about it. Should that be something where it's like, hey, man, you're doing a broadcast, you're talking about baseball. Should you really be hitting on women?
No, you should not be. And think about, too, what the difference in reaction would be if it was a female sideline reporter doing something like that. The reaction would be, you'd be hearing about it all over social media. Instead, this was just kind of like a quick, oh, look at how funny this is.
I felt like it was very odd.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
No, do what you want on your own time, but if you're part of a broadcast, you're part of the broadcast.
No, it was really bizarre. And then, yeah, you saw the blowback online from female reporters who've been like, yeah, if I did this, my career would be over.
Yeah.
Not even blowback, my career would be done.
Yeah. I thought it was so strange. And the fact that the Braves booth was egging him on, like, keep going, get her number. I thought it was super odd, made me uncomfortable. And I can't imagine, like, unless they were in on the bit where it was like, hey, I'm going to do this. It'll be funny. But we haven't heard that from the women he was talking to.
Even if it was, it's not really a funny bit.
And it wasn't,
No, it's not funny either way.
and it wasn't presented that way either.
No, it wasn't.
What was the game situation? Like, was this game
Who
entirely
knows?
out of hand?
No, the game was not out. I think it was like a 3-2 game.
Because the other thing is, like, how does that add to the enjoyment of watching the game?
It doesn't.
To like add that in. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I really want my sideline reporter interviewing fans generally without purpose. You know.
Without purpose, yeah. I mean, I think the Tigers do a very good job. Our sideline reporter, Daniela Bruce, she does a great job, talking with the fans, but it's always adding something. And like when we were playing in Milwaukee, you know what our little bit thing was? Yeah. When the Tigers were in Milwaukee, she went up and she went down the Brewers slide thing. That's fun. That's a fun thing to do with your sideline reporter.
It's part of the ballpark.
Yeah, that's the fun stuff.
I know that I have been silent on this topic because, as you, I don't like it, but I don't know exactly where to put my finger on why is it wrong, because I also don't want to be a hypocrite, meaning sometimes it's relatively normal that while you're on a job, you pursue other interests. However, I'm not condoning in any way. What I'm trying to say is that I cannot say why it's wrong. I just know it's wrong.
It
For
felt
context,
wrong.
Rodrigo met his girlfriend when he was a sideline reporter and picked up her number. And they love each other. They've been together for very long.
The only difference was that it was a soccer game because she's Brazilian, but like, I don't know. Like I don't want to be called out. I don't want my professional sports reporter career
It's
to
okay.
be over.
Rodrigo's birth name is Wiley Ballard. It is very. It felt very creepy, and I get it. You're gonna like there are gonna be people that listen to this podcast and say, "Oh, woke, oh, leftist." Shut up. It's very close to sexual harassment in my opinion. And I don't really care if you idiots out there say, "Ooh, woke," whatever. Shut up.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Because I didn't see it. This is the first time I'm listening to this. Did he get rejected live?
No. Well, the bit didn't get rejected. I don't know that she gave him a real number. I don't know that they went on a date. I don't know that she cared. I don't know. I just thought it was
because
weird.
the only way that I can find this understandable is that he took the risk. He got rejected. He got fired. Like on
He didn't
TV,
get
you know,
fired. He didn't get fired.
Not fired. The heat. He felt the heat of being rejected on TV. That if that was a possibility.
Well, one of the girls did not give her number to him. The other one did. So it was like a win-lose on camera. Ha ha ha. I don't know.
Maybe it's something that they tried and it was wrong. I'm trying to think.
Well, they haven't done it again, so they clearly thought that it probably wasn't the best idea. So those were our listener questions for the week.
I still don't like it. I don't think it's right though. Like,
yeah, I get it. And I was just curious what you guys thought because somebody wrote in and asked us about it.
Yeah.
So we're happy to talk about any topic. You may not like what we have to say about it. And quite honestly, we're the ones with the mics. So
yeah, I also want to tell the audience that if you have more questions or you want to set more topics for discussion, you are welcome. Once again, what is our email?
swingandamisspod@gmail.com.
You
And
heard
any
it.
of our socials.
And any of our socials.
You heard
Instagram,
it.
Twitter, Facebook. Nels loves to argue with people on Twitter.
Yeah, and we read everything that you send because it's not hard to read 2 text messages.
And in that vein, let's move into our starting position for this week. When we talk about the greatest of a certain position for this week, we're going to talk this week about catchers. And I think the best way to set this up is after last week when we talked about starting pitchers, there were so many to choose from that we didn't feel the need to share with each other who they were. This week with catchers, it's kind of a limited pool for greatest catchers of all time. So we did share with each other. We made sure none of us overlap. So with nothing further, let's start with Tyler and your favorite or greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah. So the best catcher of all time, in my opinion, is Josh Gibson, the slugging catcher of the Negro Leagues who played during the 30s and the 40s. The issue that we've got with all Negro Leagues players is they're a little bit like tall tales. You know, there's a folk hero element to exactly what their accomplishments were because the record keeping was not to the same degree that we've got with MLB. So Josh Gibson, just in his recorded statistics, had a 373 average.
Woo!
He had a career 1.176 OPS. To put that into context, Babe Ruth's OPS is 1.161. So higher OPS than Babe Ruth. And that's as a catcher. As context, so the career OPS for Josh Gibson leads the Negro Leagues. The difference between him and number 2 is the same difference between Aaron Judge's 2024 and Ketel Marte's 2024.
Yikes.
So it wasn't just that he was a great hitter. He was so far head and shoulders above. And if you want to just talk about catchers within the Negro Leagues, Josh Gibson's offensive production as a catcher is the difference between Mike Piazza and Kurt Suzuki. So that's the difference between 1 and 2. You go from the most sluggingest catcher of all time with Mike Piazza all the way down to a glove first catcher in Kurt Suzuki.
And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the assumed home run number for Josh Gibson over 800?
Well, so it's over 800, but like it's curious. Like so it's hard. The statistics that you got, it's someplace between 600 and 1,000, depending on what you're looking at. And so it could be all over the map. But if you just take a look at recorded statistics, you extrapolate those over a 162 game season. On average, over the course of his career, he hit 45 homers per season across 162. You extrapolate that across his 16-year career, that's about 700 some home runs. So, you know, he would be very high up there. He probably wouldn't gotten to the same levels of Babe Ruth. Maybe he would have. We don't know because there's a lot that we're doing as far as incomplete box scores. But, man, like that offensive production is there. And it is absolutely amazing as a catcher.
And we all have our picture taken, well, except Rodrigo because you didn't come. We all have our picture with his statue at the museum.
Yes. And also when you look at pictures of Josh Gibson from that era, it looks like a guy who can hit about 800
Oh, yeah,
home runs.
absolutely.
And I'll tell you something, too, that's fun about Josh Gibson, completely unrelated to his play itself, is in the MLB The Show video games. It's actually really fun when you get to play as him. Even the sound of the bat is different.
Oh, I bet.
When the bat hits the ball, they even have a different sound to make it sound like a louder crack because that's how hard he hit the ball.
I would just like to point out that none of us have been invited over to play MLB The Show at your house. So there's
That's because I'm not good, and so I play by myself.
To get better, so then he can extend
when
the
you're
invite.
better, then we can play.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, go for it.
All right, so turning this over from the older times to relatively newer, I think maybe in the early lifetime of Tyler and Nels, maybe when he retired, but the great Johnny Bench.
The disrespect.
I do not remember.
I have no memory of Johnny
I
Bench
didn't
in my life.
I didn't say that you remembered him, but you were alive.
The disrespect.
Yes.
Yes.
Looking at the years he played, I was alive while Johnny Bench was an active Major League Baseball player.
But that gives us a little bit more of a feel for it's not Josh Gibson from, the early 1900s. It's, something a little more recent, but not like that any of us watched him play.
Yep.
But, speaking of slugging catchers, Johnny Bench led the entire league in home runs twice and RBI 3 different times. He drove in a ton of runs as a catcher. He won the World Series twice. He was the MVP of the World Series one of those times. 2 league MVPs, 14 All-Stars, 10 Gold Gloves. So not only could he hit the crap out of the ball and hit nearly 400 home runs in his career, but he was incredible defensively behind the plate too. And I think that that's a theme that we're going to see from the others as we go around the table here is defensively, this is a position that that warrants a lot more than anywhere else in baseball history. And just the combination of being able to hit, being the core of some really good Cincinnati teams. To me, he stands out a little above the rest. I know when Nels goes next, that was my one. I had 1 and 1A, and he's got my 1A, who has a very similar overall profile. But I got just a little edge on Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench is an excellent catcher, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Don't remember him playing, but it's all. I chose somebody who I did see play.
Me too.
And that is Mr. Pudge Rodriguez.
Yvonne,
yes.
Ivan Pudge Rodriguez.
He actually has a fairly similar profile to Johnny Bench. 14-time All-Star, 6 or 7-time Silver Slugger, 13-time Gold Glove winner, won an MVP, Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt. The reason I gave Pudge the edge here is the number 2,427, which is the number of games that he was a catcher, which is the most ever in Major League history.
Mm-hmm.
Catching is easily the most demanding position on the field, and this man did it for 21 seasons at a incredibly high level from start to end. To me, that means everything. I think catching is probably the most important position on the field because you're involved in so many plays. I mean, just a pitch, catching a pitch right there and being able to frame it, blocking, a ball in the dirt, being able to throw a runner out, all of those things, fielding your position. He did that to a T immaculately. So he is my guy.
And most importantly, he was a very good Tiger for a few years.
Oh,
And he could hit 300 home runs, 296 career batting average. So he wasn't just a defensive guy.
And 2,844 hits.
Yeah.
Which for a catcher is just leaps and bounds above the rest. We'll talk about guys that hit, and there's a lot of power hitters in the catchers, but not guys that just got hits. And Pudge had 2,800 hits.
Going to a completely different route, my favorite catcher from all times and one of my favorite players, he was one of the ones that made me fall in love with the sport, Jorge Posada.
Can't argue with that.
When I was little, he was one of the big Latino figures of that time. He was a clutch, he was a celebrity, he had everything it takes to be a great player and to be a franchise player, which he ended up being at New York. So, yeah, everything, for me, it's more about the core memory than the stats. And also, I think it was the very first time I saw an MLB interview completely in Spanish because he was speaking Spanish. And, I was watching it on ESPN Deportes. And yeah, that when you're little and you identify, right, like, Latino in the majors doing it, and I have always been a catcher when I was playing Little League. So that's
you're a
also,
pitcher now.
I'm just a thrower, not a pitcher. However, that was one of my favorite players when I was little, and when he retired, it was. I have never found another catcher that I feel so identified with. So yeah, that's why he is my favorite.
One thing that I think with catchers, and I think Posada kind of embodies it, which is he was just the field captain. Like when he like took the field, he had a presence. He like occupied the space. And I'm not really sure that we're ever going to have statistics that are going to properly quantify what a catcher does, both within calling the game, before everyone was carrying paper onto the field for everything, setting up fielders for particular batters, game planning with pitchers. all of that goes into the value that a catcher adds to a position, and we're never going to be able to fully understand that.
Can't argue with it. All right, so mine, really quickly, and mine's going to be quick because mine is not stat heavy. Mine's a feel and a watch. When I think about catchers, very similar to what Tyler was saying, the captain of the field calls the game, controls the game. I want a prick behind the plate. And that's why my pick is Yadi Molina. Yadi Molina for, goodness, how many years? Too many to count. 18, I think, was a prick behind the plate. Not only did he hit, not only did he catch, not only did he defend, but he fought people. This guy was the guy you wanted behind the plate, that if you took something up near the chin, you took music up near the chin, you were going to, there's an opportunity for you to make an issue with the pitcher. Yadi Molina never let that happen. Still was a great player. Over 2,000 hits, over 170 home runs, it hit under 300 at 277, but guy was a commander on the field. I'm not the biggest fan of him, having grown up watching the Cubs more so than any other team, but that's my pick. And yeah,
I also really enjoy, both with Bench and Molina. You look at that and it's just like, who did you play for? Cincinnati.
Yep.
Who did you play for?
St. Louis. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So, though, if being a prick behind the plate is your number one qualification, are you a big AJ Pierzynski fan?
They both punched I think they both punched Cubs. Now that I think about it, Yadi Molina punched Michael Barrett. Or was that Pierzynski that punched Michael Barrett?
No idea.
I don't know. There was another Cub that Yachty punched.
I think there are a few people that Pierzynski punched.
Yeah. I have an affinity for professional athletes that have that edge but can back it up. And that's why I love Yachty.
Does that mean you think Buster Posey is the worst catcher of all time? Because
Buster Posey
he's
took
such an
all-time nice guy.
Dude,
He just gave people hugs.
He gave people hugs at the plate when they're running 26 feet per second into his chest. Dude he's a warrior. Buster Posey's great, and you know that.
I do.
All right, so that was catchers for this week. Let's move into Ballpark Brews. So for this week, Rodrigo, because it's Cinco de Mayo, is going to share with us a little bit about his experience with going to a baseball game in Mexico. He's written quite a beautiful soliloquy about that. So we're going to turn the mic over to him and let him tell you a little bit about it before we jump into Ballpark Brews.
All right. Thank you so much. I took the time to write a little about my experience going to Mexico City baseball parks. And I came up with a little text that I want to share with everyone who's listening. It's a regular Saturday, 5 p.m., the kind of afternoon that slowly turns into night without you realizing. I get off the subway at Ciudad Deportiva station, and even before the game starts, I can tell who's with me. Some wear red and white caps, others have Diablos jerseys with years of wear on them, old battle flags full of history. A few lost sheep wear Tigres hats, and some others wear soccer jerseys. They are not here for the same reason. Maybe they're curious, maybe they just got dragged in, but we're here and we're walking towards the same direction. As we make our way out of the station and through the crowd, the vendors start to appear. Someone shouting, "Got extra tickets, need tickets." A woman yells, "Jerseys, jerseys," like she's selling stock before a market crash. Then you can listen. Buy something for the kid, for the girl, for the grandpa at home. You smile. Everyone is doing it. It's part of the soundtrack of this walk, the first act of the play. We cross into the Ciudad Deportiva, the same complex that holds the racetrack of the Grand Prix. We're walking on a literal racetrack, up a bridge, and then you see it. The Estadio Alfredo Harpelú. It's not just a stadium, it is a sculpture. It's a concrete and steel flame, designed by Francisco González Pulido, built not for profit but for love. The owner of the team is a banker, and this isn't business to him. This is love, this is devotion. Everything goes quiet when you first see it, then you enter. Security checks your bag and waves you in. You step into a cathedral of baseball. The smells hit you first. Cochinita pibil tacos, marinated shrimp tostadas, Maruchan ramen, Philly cheesesteaks. Gomichelas, donuts, coffee, individual Domino's pizzas, flautas, crepes, tortas, churros, quesadillas, and beers. Lots of them. Ice cold, semi cold, warm, and dangerously hot. You find your seat, maybe behind the dugout. You sit down, and almost immediately, a guy dressed as a doctor in a white lab coat comes to you and says, "My name is Juan. Do you want a beer, boss?" He doesn't wait for a yes, and he starts asking, light or dark, normal, regular, chelada, michelada, or gomichela. You say the word gomichela, you never had one. He brings it back, a big, icy beer with tamarind, chili powder, lime, chamoy, and colorful gummy candies sticking out in the rim. It is spicy, but it's also sweet, and your forehead gets stained with chile without you noticing. It's perfect. You will regret it later, but that is tomorrow's problem. The game starts. The guest of honor tries to say the word play ball. However, he doesn't speak English, and he says playboy. We all know what he meant, and we all just let it by. The umpire gets introduced and immediately gets booed, and it's an aggressive boo. It's an insulting one. In Mexico, it's common to mess with the umpire at a personal level. We scream things like, "That pitch was better than your mama," and sometimes we shout, "Your sister will definitely scream on that strike." We're brutal, we're creative, we're funny, but we never get physical. In 28 years of me coming to this cathedral, I have never seen a fight. Just a drunk guy being escorted out, and that's it. Then comes the Porra Escarlata, which is known as the Scarlet Mob. The fan group that follows the team city to city. They bring drums, horns, sirens, and chants with them. They turn the bleachers into a block party. The crowd answers every chant. People dance in the aisles. Vendors yell like auctioneers, and it's a full-on carnival. Between the innings, the stadium blasts tropical beat music and electronic music. The games are on the big screen, giveaways, kiss cams, and little races with animated hot dogs. The crowd never rests, and then you see it. Rocco. He's the mascot of the Red Devils of Mexico City, and he's always dressed in whatever is trendy. He dances, teases players, flirts with grannies, hypes the kids. He's the best mascot in Mexican sports in general. Sometimes he's joined by Rocky, his girlfriend, or Roquito, his little kid. Everybody cheers for them. He never disappoints. Some fans become legends too. I can always remember this white guy with silver hair, maybe 60. He dances with more energy than I have ever done. And every single game, every single inning, he's there, waving his arm, moving his legs. The cameras love him, and so we do, the fans. There comes the 7th inning, and instead of "take me out to the ball game," we all rise and sing in Spanish, "Llévame al juego de pelota, llévame con la multitud, take me to the crowd." It is it's a full stadium, it is thousands of voices and in unison, everyone swaying arms around friends, lovers, and strangers. Then, here it comes, the 27th out. Doesn't matter if we win or lose this one. We came, we yelled, we drank, we danced, and we watched baseball under the lights. That is winning. We exit the stadium slowly, like leaving a family party or leaving church. There's no rush, however, we all need to get home. The vendors are still yelling, trying to get rid of whatever they have left. The streets are still smelling like they smelled before, like tacos, and you get hungry because it's already night and you didn't realize the sun came down when you were watching the game. We walk back to the metro with our jerseys, we feel the trains, we are chanting, we're cheering, we're joking. This was a good game, and I hope I can come back sometime soon. So yes, that was the little thing that I came up with, and I didn't want to get too emotional. So now we can talk a little bit about
You getting emotional, good Lord. There's a reason you're the fan favorite. That was really, really beautiful.
I hope you enjoy it. And I actually don't just have anecdotes, I have facts about Mexican baseball. Particularly this stadium. This is the newest stadium in the Mexican League, and it's of the biggest, most popular team in Mexico. The Diablos, the Red Devils, are called the Yankees of Mexico because they have won 16 titles.
Wow.
and they are a winning franchise. And of course, it's controversial because the owner is the owner of biggest bank in Mexico, so he can push money in, and he does because he loves the sport. And there we are. And the favorite beer of that stadium, it's a classic known everywhere. It's worldwide, and it's Cerveza Corona. So now we're gonna try it, right? And we're gonna hear a clink, not the classic can opening, because this is made on glass as it should be.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
All right. So now it's still too quiet. So what do you think, guys, about this classic Corona beer?
So I can start. So for me, Corona is something that's been a beer that's been around me for a long time. My dad loves Corona. He's drank Corona for a long time. My stepmom loved Corona. I've always been a big fan of Corona. I'm not a big fan of putting lime in it, to be fair. And I know that's probably sacrilege for a lot of people out there. Corona for me is it's the quintessential summer Mexican beer. If I'm going to a Mexican restaurant, I'm sitting on a patio, or I'm going to watch, excuse me, I had a burp caught in there. We're not going to cut that out either, because this is just real time. When we go to a Mexican restaurant, this is what I always get. It's either this or Tecate, and a lot of places around here don't have Tecate. Tecate is great though, but Corona to me is quintessential. It's summer. It's patio time. It's Mexican food, and I really now will equate it to what you just so eloquently put into word form. To me, it's a triple. It's triple. It's a very easy triple.
I do have a fun fact about the lime.
Please do.
The reason why Corona as a brand used the lime was because since the bottle is clear, it's easy for the lime to make the beer bitter. So to hide that bitterness, they put the lime on, and people, thought that was the actual taste when it never was.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Which putting a lime in a Corona is my favorite part of a Corona.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like I love.
I told you it was
I love
controversial.
watching the wedge slide down and it fizz once it hits there. And like Corona, it's a great beer. For me, it needs to be blazingly hot for me to enjoy a Corona. For that reason, like
As in, outside needs to be blazingly hot, not
outside
the Corona.
no, not the Corona.
We did hear
Yeah.
about the hot beer.
Yeah, you
so.
can get one if you
You
want.
can get a hot beer. I don't want a hot
So
beer.
clarification.
I
very
want
important.
an ice cold Corona. I want it to be hot, and then I will truly enjoy it. Unless it's Vin Diesel giving it to me and talking about family, in which case I'll absolutely enjoy it as well.
What if Tyrese gives it to you?
Also, if he says anything about family, I'm totally in. But it's just a single for me.
Just a single. All right.
Yeah, so for me, Corona is it's a classic one, like you said. Just sitting out on the porch, hanging out, having a good time. I never personally had thought about this as like a ballpark beer before because, we're a little bit more snooty with our beers. We get some more like craft stuff. So I don't really think of it as much as a ballpark beer. But after hearing Rodrigo talk about it, and it really did just kind of like his story puts you in the feel of the environment there. And drinking this now, I'm thinking about the words that you just said, and I can feel being there, having one of these in my hand, cheering on, the team, the mascot, booing the umps, trash talking, and just having a good time with one of these in hand. I would have given it a double before, but Rodrigo's words elevate this to a home run.
Well, first of all, on the bottle it says since 1925, so happy 100th birthday.
Hey!
Yes, that's true.
Happy birthday, Corona!
Yes.
The centennial.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Nels and Corona.
Yes. I will be drinking it in celebration. Corona to me is a safe beer. It's a beer that you really can't go wrong with. I've never heard anybody say, ew, no, when offered a Corona. It goes down easy. It goes down smooth. I don't think anybody has a problem with it. So to me, like I said, it's a safe beer. So It's a shot in the gap that you could stretch into a triple, but you're going to be safe and pull up with a double.
I like
and
it.
maybe try and steal third after.
I actually agree with you. For me, this is a double because it's definitely not my favorite beer in the world. However, it's really good. It's a safe choice. For me, it is summer. It is light beer. It is hanging out with friends. It is being in the stadium. So for me, it's a safe place. And I cannot think of a safer hit than a double.
They also have the classic Christmas commercial where the guy's whistling on the beach and then the palm tree.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's
Yes.
been going for like 30 years. So it's not
That's
Christmas
true.
until the Corona commercial.
And
Yes.
I will also say now I have just a burning desire to have one of these at like 80-degree temperature of the beer while sitting in the baseball stands just to feel
Well,
like your story there.
I think we can accomplish that this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
we can.
We
I'm
can.
scared a little bit, but a little bit excited.
And maybe someday soon we can all make a trip to Mexico City and go
Hopefully.
to the Red Devil Stadium.
Just wait till I get deported and we'll be there.
It's a funny joke because he's an immigration
Maybe you're
lawyer.
gonna need to
Oh,
cut this
Lord.
down.
Oh, we were going to keep politics out of this podcast, but
Sorry,
we blew
yeah,
that out of the
we
water.
need to
It's
take
okay.
it out,
It's
though.
okay. We swore on the last one. Okay, so now that we've done Ballpark Brews, I had some trivia questions for this week, but we actually have a guest trivia person for this particular episode, and it's none other than Alan Rusko, Mr. Josh's father. So shout out to Alan for sending in this question. This is going to be from Josh to the rest of us. None of us have seen this question. We don't know what it is. We'll all give a guess, I assume.
Before you
Yeah, you
start,
can.
I just want to say that I like your dad more than I like you.
I mean, that's fair.
And
So
also your mom.
Same.
Very sweet.
thank you, Alan, for sending these. I really appreciate it.
I still haven't.
It's not a hot take.
I still haven't met his mom, but I've met
But you
Alan,
will.
and he's a gem. So, thank
Yeah.
you so much for sending this in. We'll try to get it right.
For sure. Even though I doubt you will.
Willie McGee.
Josh
Tigers.
Gibson.
The Tigers. The
Yeah,
Detroit Tigers.
Probably the Tigers.
Anyone that's played for the Tigers ever.
Yes.
All right. You want the question or you want to just yell?
Question.
Okay. So just a little bit of preface. My dad and I talk baseball all the time, pretty much every day. And this afternoon, he just texts me out of the blue. You know, I'm working and stuff, and he just goes, "Trivia question," and then gives me this question. I'm like, "All right, this one's got to be for the." And he goes, "For the podcast." So the question is, what player is the all-time leader for runs scored and stolen bases of a player who never logged an official at bat in the major leagues?
Oh Lord.
And the numbers are higher than you think that they would be.
So the player never logged an official at bat
Correct.
and has the most stolen bases
And runs scored of anybody who has never logged an official at bat.
I don't know who leads MLB in walks of all time or hit by pitches.
Well,
Barry
I think,
Bonds.
I think
Okay.
we need to go with someone who is exclusively a pinch runner.
Mhm.
Yes.
Eli White.
No.
There was, and I do not know his name, but in the 70s, the Athletics experimented with having like track sprinters that they would have on the bench that they would exclusively pull into the game to be pinch runners.
Dennis Eckersley.
It was not their second.
Ben
Okay.
Johnson.
So I will say, clearly, these fools on the left don't have an actual answer. Tyler, you don't know the name, but you are correct in who you're thinking of.
All right,
It
Rodrigo.
is
Who's the
one of
A's?
those track
Who's the
stars
A's
from
track
those
star from the
A's.
70s? Who's
I'm
the A's
sorry,
track
but
star?
the fool in front of Josh has no idea.
So that's one of those things. Is after my dad gave me the answer, he told me all of those things.
I don't know any. I don't know any of the names. I know that it wasn't just one track star.
John Olerud.
It was like they had different guys throughout a period of like
Mhm.
8 years.
Ricky Henderson.
Usain
I'll
Bolt.
show you the text right here. I just told my dad when I looked him up, he's from Flint, graduated from Michigan State,
Well,
which he
of
didn't
course,
know.
yeah.
And then he just goes track star, and I'm like, those kind of guys usually are. And then he just tells me Charlie Finley, who was the A's owner, that was doing exactly that. So
Yeah.
you've got everything right, except for you didn't know the name. But I'm going to give that to you for knowing that whole situation.
Golf clap.
I think, yes.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So
Wait. I'm not done guessing.
All right, give us one more dumb guess. and
Jim
then I'll
Abbott.
give the-
Phil Necro.
You guys are going with pitchers now.
I'm
They
trying.
go back. They're American League before they were.
I thought maybe they grabbed a pitcher.
He was a designated hitter when Jim Abbott was playing.
All right, so the correct
We should not. We should talk about him more.
the correct answer, and I would love to because he's a Michigan grad
Let's.
too.
Oh, jeez. Not everything has to be Michigan tied.
But
This
the
is not
answer-
your podcast. This is our podcast, though.
Okay,
True
the
story.
answer is Herb Washington. Over the course,
Ron's dad.
over the course of 2 seasons in 1974 and 1975, he had 33 runs scored and 31 stolen bases with 0 at bats and 0 plate appearances.
All walks? Or hit
0
by?
plate
no, he
appearances,
was a
pinch
pinch-
run.
Oh, pinch run. I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
He
That was
never
stupid.
came
That was
up
stupid.
to the plate. He only came in as a pinch runner.
Gotcha.
In fact, his position on Baseball Reference is pinch runner
Hey
and
man,
designated hitter. I don't know why, because he never came to the plate.
Hall of Famer.
No, absolutely not.
Career minus 0.5 WAR.
Yeah.
I actually think he should be considered, though.
Hey man, there are people in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be. Let's put this
So-
guy in.
So Ben, we can turn it to you for your usual trivia now. But thank you, Dad, for phoning that one in today. That was a very interesting one and got me going down a rabbit hole of a bunch of guys that didn't really do much other than run.
Yeah, you quit looking at the screen, Rodrigo.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Our Rodrigo's trying to be a cheat.
So, because we've done kind of overall broad baseball trivia, I thought this time let's do one specifically based on one team. It's not the Tigers, it's not the Twins, it's not the Giants, it's not the Braves. It's the Mariners. We're doing Mariners trivia. I only have 4 because we knew we had one from Alan.
0, the amount of championships.
That is not one of the questions.
Darn.
All right. This second baseman debuted in the 1983 season and made the All-Star team in 1987 and 1988. Shout out 1987, year I was born. And won consecutive Gold Gloves in 1988, 89, and 90. Who is this Mariners hero who helped usher in the golden era of Mariners baseball? Go ahead, Tyler.
John Olerud?
No, sir.
That was going to be my guess too.
Harold Reynolds.
Ding, ding, ding,
Harold
Nels.
Reynolds. Yeah, I knew Olerud was a first baseman though. That's why I got thrown off that. Harold Reynolds, eh?
Funny story about John Olerud and first baseman, and we'll talk about a different podcast with Ricky Henderson. It's great.
Sounds
It's a
good.
great
Ricky
story.
Henderson.
Sounds
Yeah, it's
like
a
a
great
story for another time.
That's a great story. Second question. In 2001, John Olerud, you got to stop laughing next to me. John Olerud hit for the cycle. He was the blank Mariner to hit for the cycle. What number?
2001.
In 2001, what number Mariner was he to hit for the cycle?
4.
No.
First.
No.
Third.
Bingo.
Third.
Line.
I would like to change my answer to
So
third.
did Griffey do it? Do you know who else did it?
I do.
Okay.
The first one was Jay, is it
Buhner.
Buhner? I was going to say Buhner. And then secondly is A-Rod.
Oh, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Why would you trade Jay Buhner?
Well,
Ben has never seen Seinfeld.
He has
so
not.
These are all references going well over his head.
shout out Jerry Seinfeld, sponsor of the podcast.
Got 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs, a rocket for an arm.
RBI.
You don't know what the hell you're doing.
It's a quote, Ben.
Fair. All right. Next question. Who played second base in 2003 and wore number 29
2003.
for the Mariners? To reiterate.
Brett Boone.
Bingo. Bingo. Look at
My
you.
goodness, Nels. You are just showing off now.
Somebody watched the Dorktown documentary on the Seattle Mariners.
right.
Oh.
Ready for the last one?
Let's do it.
Who was the first Mariner to win Rookie of the Year?
Ichiro.
No.
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 The kid.
No, not Griffey. Dead air is great for a podcast.
Well, you give us a question and we're trying to think.
I have
Harold
no idea.
Reynolds.
Not Harold Reynolds.
I have no idea.
Anyone want to do a second one?
Give us a position
Give us a decade.
or a decade. Sure.
Man, no.
Give us something.
Edgar
though.
Martinez.
Starts with an A.
Alex Rodriguez.
No.
Uh,
Alvin Davis.
Of course.
The
It was
well
on the
known
tip of my tongue.
the well known Alvin
I
Davis.
think
I have his Donruss Diamond Kings from 1990. I should know that.
I actually have his autograph tattooed on my body. It's crazy.
You
I
actually-
believe-
No,
If
I
they do
don't.
win.
No, I don't.
I would believe you though.
The funny thing is, I have enough tattoos that everybody looked at me like, "Oh, really?" No, I don't.
Yeah, if I said that, it would have gotten laughed off. But you say that, and it's
I
like
do. I've got
it
a
could-
lot.
It could happen.
Got a lot of
You
tattoos.
considered at some point
You
tattooing yourself tumble dry only.
Oh man. Oh well. Well, that's it for episode 5. Thank you everybody for listening. We hope you enjoy it. We hope that you write into us, swingandamisspod@gmail.com. Find us on our socials. Nels will fight with you on Twitter.
I will.
Guys, any last thoughts?
Yeah, Dad, give me more trivia.
Yeah, but Alan, shout out Alan. Give us more trivia, but not about the Tigers because we don't care.
As of today, we have a new pope. Pope Leo the 14th.
From
Cu-
Chicago?
Cub-
From Chicago.
Cubs fan.
No, Sox fan.
Oh,
Sox fan. But I will wager to guess that at some point someone gifted him a Mark Grace jersey just so he could have Grace on the back of his.
Ben.
I mean, what other priest would you gotta give your priest a Grace.
I tell
This
you
is
what.
how Ben gets into heaven.
This is how I become Catholic.
The White
apparently.
Sox finally have a prayer.
Apparently, he was there during the 2005 World Series.
Oh, so he punched Michael Barrett.
No, that was another priest.
The Fighting Popes.
Oh, the Fighting Smoking Popes, good band. Sorry, we got off track. We got to talking. Thank you guys so much for listening. Play the game, love the game. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.